Okay, here's our look at our fantasy baseball league. I'll quickly go through an overview of everything. Hopefully it can clear some questions up for people. So this is our league homepage. If you scroll down, you'll see this is the standings. This will get updated every week. Every Monday it will get updated. Since we play Monday through Sunday, the end of the week, all our scores will be updated on here. Over on the right is the matchups for the week. Right now I'm logged in as Jenna, so your matchup will always be at the top. And then looking down here is recent transactions made by any GMs in our league. If you want to see all of them, you can click View All right here, and it'll show you everything. And then down further is recent messages. So this is the message board. You can click on any of these, and it'll expand into another. It'll open up, and you can read. Okay, at the top of the page, you'll see a bunch of tabs coming across here. There's League, My Team, Matchup, and Players. Those are the ones I'm going to focus on. Clicking on My Team is going to take you to your team of all your players. This is where you change your lineups. So if you look, these are today, and it shows today's stats and who is playing and who is not playing. Down here is the same thing for pitchers. So because these games have already started, they're either done or they're still playing, you can no longer move any of these players to either bench them or play them, because you can bench, let's see, Scudero, he went 0 for 4 today. You can see that he didn't do anything, so you'd want to bench him so you don't get any of his stats. Won't let you do that. So in order to change your lineups, you can go days ahead. So up here at the top, there's dates. You can go forward and backwards. So we're going to go forward one day to tomorrow's dates, and we'll see that everyone is blue again, so you can change them. So tomorrow, looking at Jenna's team, there's players that are playing against a team but aren't in her lineup. So that's where decisions where you guys come into play and decide who plays and who doesn't play. Looking at pitchers down at the bottom, these little signs right here next to the opponent means they're going to be starting that day. You can go ahead about 5 days, since there's a 5-day rotation for pitchers for every team. So you'll see that she has 3 starting pitchers tomorrow, and they can be put in the starting pitcher category. There's also 2 relief pitcher categories and 3 pitcher categories. Starting pitchers, they have to be starting pitchers. The relief pitchers have to be relief pitchers. The P can be either or, so it can be starting pitchers or relief pitchers. So changing a lineup is very easy. You can, let's say we want to play Matt Kemp in the outfield. If you hold Matt Kemp and drag him, you'll see a bunch of different spots come up. You can put him in either the outfield or in the utility position. So if we want to put him, let's say we're going to replace Nady of the Yankees, you drop him. Now they switch, but you'll see there's still a little yellow box around it. That means it's not completely done. So you can make multiple changes here, and by the time you're done, you can scroll to the bottom and click Submit Changes, and now your lineup is set, so you don't have to worry, and then it'll work. So another thing which I didn't explain is the DL. If you see a player like Alex Rodriguez is on the DL, that means he's on the DL in real life. We have a DL position in our league. We only have 1 DL position. In order to put him on DL, you drag him like any other player. Let's say he was actually playing, and you're pulling him down. You'll see underneath the bench position that a DL position opens up. You can put A-Rod on the DL, click Submit, and now he's on your DL position, and that will open up a spot on your roster. So the point of putting someone on DL is she won't be dropping Alex Rodriguez to the league so anyone can pick him up. He is still on her team, but she can pick up another player and put him in his place. So when A-Rod comes off the DL, she will have to pick somebody on her team, either a pitcher or a fielder, to drop in order to make a spot for him. So once she drops somebody, she can pull him off his DL and put him on the bench. See what happens if I try and do that now? It's going to tell me there's an error because you're over the max roster size. So you must drop somebody before. So I think that explains pretty much everything. The other thing is percentage started. That just means this is the percentage that everybody in all of Yahoo Baseball Fantasy or Fantasy Baseball have started these players. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're better or worse than anything, because these will change. And so a good way to gauge players is if you know baseball and you know players, you can make decisions. You can click on their stats. So this is their stats so far this season. Let's say you want to look more between these players. You can click on the player. It's going to open a new window, and it'll show you his page. So you can look. What I like to do is go to his career stats, look at what he's done in his career. So we keep track of batting percentage, stolen bases, RBIs, home runs. So I'll look at what he did. He's not really a home run hitter. He gets some decent amount of RBIs, not great, but he gets about 20 stolen bases a year, and that's pretty good. And he's batting about 281, not bad. So that's one thing to look for. Another thing you can do is up here, game log. You click on that, and it'll show you what he's done for the whole season. It'll show you the whole game log. So far, they've only played 7, 8 games, so he hasn't done a whole lot. But it'll tell you sometimes you'll have a hit streak of a certain amount of games. Like here, he had 3 games in a row. He had at least 1 hit. That's another good gauge that you can use. There's some other stuff up here that you can click on and play for yourself. The other thing is when you're dropping players, up here you may notice that there's a little symbol next to their name, such as A-Rod has this little thing. So when you want to drop a player, you click on the box and click continue. But for A-Rod, you can't drop him because he's on what Yahoo has as a no drop list. So they made a list of players that they consider top tier players that nobody can drop. This keeps teams from dropping their top players and other teams picking up kind of a